Well, welcome, Atchison. We are excited you're here. We are sitting here and getting ready to present you with some fantastic information. I'm Laura Wing with the Atchison Chat News, and this is my co-host.
I'm Eric Royer, and I'm really excited to be here today, and we're going to have a great time. We have a great show coming up.
Yes, we sure do. Let's see, what are we talking about today? All sorts of stuff. We have a very, very special guest that Eric is going to be introducing you to soon, and we're also going to be talking about different events that are going on in town, right? We have all sorts of things happening, don't we?
We have great things coming up, and then just a lot of stuff to do in town, and a lot of really great opportunities to go out and see people and see what's going on.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that as soon as we come back.
Welcome back. Laura, when I say spring, what do you think of?
Oh, flowers.
That's true.
Flowers. I think of camping, getting out and going camping, or maybe a little bit more into the summer for camping. I think of weddings.
That's where we're going next.
Yes, right?
It is. We're actually this weekend, March 6th, are going to have a bridal shower right here in Atchison. The cool part about this event is not only is it a lot of Atchison businesses, it's also a lot of people that work together here in Atchison to bring it together. The best part about that is we have David's Bridal's going to be sponsoring. There's going to be all kinds of drawings, and there's even going to be a live fashion show. So come on out. It's going to be this Sunday, March 6th, 1 to 4 at the Benedictine Murphy Recreational Center. Do not miss it. It's going to be a wonderful time.
Wonderful fun. I want to tell you something about bridal shows and all of that. So sometimes I like to go shopping with my daughters. We take trips and we go on these shopping excursions, but we don't like to spend money. So I think it is fun to go into the bridal shops and try on dresses, even though I don't plan on getting married again.
What would your husband think?
I think my husband would be a little upset. But I do think that this bridal show is going to be a blast. It's going to be wonderful. It's just a great time for everybody.
Yes.
So, yeah, if you're planning a wedding, if you know somebody who's planning a wedding, if you're not planning a wedding but you want to check everything out.
Or if you just need a photographer or a caterer for an upcoming event, come on down. Atchison Event Rental is the one's putting it on, and you don't just do weddings, you do all kinds of great stuff.
All sorts of
come on
events.
down, check it out. It'll be well worth your time.
Yeah. So that's one thing we have coming up for the month of March. What else is going on?
Yes.
Oh, before we go any further, I did want to give a big congratulations to Larry Wilcox. Larry Wilcox used to be the head coach at Benedictine College, and he was recently seated as one of the city commissioners. And that's pretty awesome. It's nice to have a new city commissioner in there, and that
Larry's
is going
a really
to be able
great
to,
guy.
yeah, that's going to be able to handle the job. So.
Been a part of Atchison for years, so it's really cool to see someone kind of take on a different role, and maybe we'll see, what he can do. He was a great football coach. We'll see what he can do for the city.
Yeah, so congratulations. We're really happy to have you. And let's see, St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
That's coming up.
Because
are you going to wear green?
Yes.
Are you?
I don't want to get pinched.
You don't want to get pinched?
No. No. I work with a lot of sarcastic people, and I think I'd be getting pinched all day if I didn't have some green on.
Well, St. Patrick's Day is coming up. And Atchison is having a St. Patrick's Day parade.
Yes, that'll be wonderful, won't it?
Yes, it's going to be, let me make sure I have the dates right here. March 12th. Does that seem early?
A little bit. At least it's not like the 10th or something. So yeah, it's right there.
It's right before St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
So the 12th of March at 2 o'clock, head downtown, watch the parade. It's going to be a good time. You know what I love?
What?
People are starting to get out. Hopefully we don't have any more freezing cold days.
Yes.
And we can really start to enjoy the new spring weather that's coming up.
Yes. I'll tell you what.
What do you know about St. Patrick's Day?
On St. Patrick's Day, everyone's a little Irish. I know that. One of my favorite foods, which is corned beef, which actually was not invented in Ireland. It was invented in New York. So everyone, when you talk about, talk to an Irish person, oh, you probably like corned beef, and they'll look at you like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Because we think it is.
So I already got my corned beef brisket. It's in the freezer. It is waiting for St. Patrick's Day. Corned beef and cabbage.
Yes.
Yeah, got to do
Wonderful tradition.
Yep, great tradition. Love it, love it, love it. So don't forget about the parade, and that's going to be March 12th at 2 o'clock downtown. All right. daylight savings.
Yeah.
While I like having longer days and more sunlight, I don't necessarily like having to get up earlier.
Yes.
That's always a bummer. We don't like it in the winter, we complain. We don't like it in the spring, we complain. But I guess if you're going to have to go one way or another, I prefer it to go this way because we do get more sunlight.
Yes.
So.
Well, and the best part about this too is starting as of February, I believe 10th, so we will not have the sun go down before 6 until November. So that's
right.
one of the best parts about, I love long days. I cannot stand the short days. I can't
when
stand,
it's dark at 4 o'clock
Yes.
in the afternoon. Yeah, I don't like that either. So it's getting brighter every single day. I like that. But do not forget to set your clocks ahead. We spring forward on the 13th of March, right?
And if you have a cell phone, it does it automatically, but your car, remember, it's been 6 months. It's time to change the car.
Time to change it if it doesn't do it automatically, right? Yeah, your phone should switch automatically, but most things do now. But there are still those little nuances here and there. Make sure that you don't forget, because I'd hate for you to be late or early to someplace you need to be. One year, I have to tell you this true story. One year, I forgot to set my clock ahead, and I was late. I was really late.
Was it too?
I had to get up to go to church, and I got there, and the service was mostly over. So it was pretty sad, pretty pathetic. But all right, let's see. Well, we told you that we were going to have a special guest today. So Eric and I are kind of rushing through this part of today's show because we are so excited to introduce you to our guest today. Eric, why don't you tell us about this special woman?
Well, the special guest is someone that I know pretty well. It's my wife, Kirsten. We're going to be doing a special segment on plants, and Kirsten happens to have an incredibly green thumb. So the cool part about that is she actually is in charge of, where she works at a greenhouse, she's in charge of all the tropical plants and indoor plants. So she's going to show you how to do some really cool indoor plants and how to kind of get them ready for spring. And they're also pet friendly and kid friendly. That's the last thing you want is, you know, kids will eat the one thing that they're not supposed to because it's green. And you're like, why can't you eat broccoli? But anyway, we're going to be doing that. If you ask me, Laura, I'll tell you right now, there are two kinds of houseplants, philodendrons and not philodendrons, and that's all I know.
You know.
That's all
right?
I know.
Well, we do get to talk to Kirsten, and
Yes.
I am so excited. And I know that Atchison is going to be thrilled to get to meet your wife. She is a very special person, and she's very knowledgeable, so I can't wait. So if you'll stay with us, we're going to go head over there and talk to her now. Welcome back. I'm glad that you stayed with us. We are here with Kirsten Royer, and she is going to be talking to us today about plants, particularly how to start your own starter plants from plants that already exist. Kirsten, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So would you do us a favor? Would you tell everybody a little about yourself and what it is you do with plants all day long?
Of course. I work at Jackson's Greenhouse in Topeka. I am the tropical and houseplant manager there. I order all of our houseplants straight from Florida, and then I start new ones from cuttings.
And then that's what you're going to be doing today. Is that
Yep,
correct?
I'll be showing you how to do some new ones.
Okay. So I have a question. What is this plant?
This is a spider plant or an airplane plant.
Okay.
It's a really good plant for someone who's never really had a plant to start with. They're real tolerant if you forget to water them or if you overwater.
Oh, that's what I need. That's what I need.
Not only that, they help purify the air, and then they also are cat safe, dog safe, and kid safe. But don't let your kid eat it like a salad.
Okay. All right. All right. So this plant here purifies the air, and it's safe for everybody in your house, including your pets.
Yes.
That's what I'm hearing. Now, if I want to start a new plant, you brought some stuff today to show us how to do that.
I did.
So how do we do that with this plant?
So this plant, the reason it's called kind of a spider plant, is because it sends out these runners,
Okay.
bloom these little white flowers. These ones aren't quite open yet. And then it'll grow a whole new spider plant right on the end.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And so what's nice about these is you can just simply cut them straight off. They're little runners, but you
Now-
want to make sure they have these little bumps. Those are air roots.
Okay. Okay. I see that. Now, are you going to cut straight across or at an angle?
I'm actually just going to lightly cut straight across at the very end of this runner, right where the new plant starts.
Okay.
As you can see. And now
Oh, look at that.
I have a spider plant.
Oh my goodness.
But
Well, now let me see this. Where do the roots grow?
So the roots are going to grow from these little bumps right here. These are actually the very beginning.
Let's see if we can show our audience that.
Whenever you take a cutting off a spider plant, you want to make sure they have the beginnings of these little bumps. If they don't have them on there yet, then they're too small to come off.
Oh, okay. So we have to have those bumps before we take them off on the spider plant.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, there's two different ways you can start spider plants. You can stick them straight into a glass of water and put them in a sunny window.
Okay.
Or you can stick them straight in soil.
Is that what we're going to do today?
That's what we're going to do today.
Okay. And you have right here, you have your pot with soil.
Yes, and this is...
Now, does it matter what size pot you start these in? Do they have to start in smaller pots and then you move up to bigger ones? Or can you just start it in a bigger one so you don't have to transplant later?
You don't have to start it in a smaller pot. Okay. If you want to do it in a bigger pot, I would recommend doing more than one in there so it fills out.
I see.
For example, this one has 3 plants in it. So when I start them at Jackson's, we put 3 plants that are grown in pots like this straight into these 10-inch hanging baskets.
Oh.
So it's all nice and full.
I wouldn't have known that was 3 plants. It looks like one big plant.
It does look like one big plant.
Okay.
But all you have to do, you stick it straight in the soil just like that, and then you water it.
Wait, that's it?
That's it.
Okay.
You just water it, and you want to make sure it's in a pot with holes.
Okay.
Because you don't want it to sit
some of the
in
water to come through. Okay.
Now, if I wanted to,
so I didn't have to bury this in there or dig a hole or anything?
Nope.
That was it?
You just stick it straight.
That was too easy. There must be a trick because I kill everything. So there must be a trick.
Now, in my opinion, anybody can grow a plant. They just haven't found the right one yet.
I guess not, or they don't know how because I didn't know you could do that. I had no clue. So I'm glad we learned that today.
You can also stick it straight in water if you don't have soil. So you can just put it in a cup, put it in your bright window, and watch it grow.
Okay. So that is how to do a spider plant. You brought another plant with you today. All right, so this plant is called what?
A Hoya or a wax plant. Here, feel the leaves.
A Hoya or a wax plant?
See how the leaves feel kind of waxy?
Yeah, they do. Okay.
They do bloom some really pretty flowers that look like they're made out of wax. This one blooms pink ones.
Okay. So it has some pretty long shoots on it, I see.
It does. So when these grow, they send out these really long tendrils, and sometimes there are no leaves on them. Don't cut these off.
Don't cut them off?
That's where your leaves are going to come. There's these little tiny, see little white bumps right here?
Okay.
Those are going to be new leaves eventually.
They look like twigs.
I know, they look just like twigs, don't they?
Looks like a twig.
But that's your new growth. You don't want to chop them off.
Okay.
Hoyas do really well in hanging baskets. You can also train them to grow up a trellis. Like you could do like a little hoop trellis.
Oh.
Should be kind of fun.
So they're trainable.
They're trainable.
Trainable plants.
They like to climb.
Like a monkey.
Like a monkey.
Okay. All right. Let's see. You are going to start one from that into this. Now with the spider plant, all you did was cut it off and just plopped it on top.
That's right.
And then she put some water on it, and that was it. Is it this easy with the Hoya plant?
Hoyas are a little bit different.
Oh, Hoya,
now,
not a Hoya. Did I say it wrong?
It's just a Hoya.
Okay. Not a. I gotcha. All
Yeah.
right. I'll just call it a. What was the other name?
Wax plant?
Wax plant. I'll just call it a wax plant. I can say that word. So we're gonna. When you cut this one off, do you have to dig a hole in the soil?
I don't have to dig a hole in the soil.
Okay.
Because
Show
the
us what to
soil
do.
is dry, I'm just going to simply cut a vine up. You'll see.
Okay.
But we do need this. This is called root hormone powder.
Root hormone powder. Okay.
It's good for starting cuttings of plants. Spider plants don't need it because they already have those roots on it.
Okay.
This doesn't have any roots on it. It's just going to be a vine. So what I'm going to do...
Well, before you do that, I have a question. I do remember growing up that when my mother would start plants, and she did have a green thumb, she always put them in water until they got roots. And then she would put them in the soil.
Yes.
So why are we doing it straight to the soil?
So you can start Hoyas in water.
Okay.
They will root in water, but water roots are weaker than roots that are in soil. So it'll
really?
go into shock
I
when
didn't
you
know that.
transplant it.
Okay.
Spider plants are practically indestructible. Hoyas are a little pickier, but once their root system's established, they're a fairly easy plant.
Okay. Okay. All right. Now show us what we need to do.
So I'm going to take this nice long vine right here.
The
And
one that looks like a twig.
Yes, the one that looks like a twig. And I'm going to cut right above these leaves right here.
All right.
So cut that off. And I'm going to do what I told you not to do. I'm going to cut this twig off.
Oh, no.
We don't need
Bye,
it.
twig.
Goodbye.
Okay.
So now I have this vine right here. There's 3 sets of
Three
leaves.
sets of, okay, I see that.
So I'm just going to cut right here above this leaf one like I did.
Oh,
And I have 1, 2,
okay.
and 3.
3 separate plants?
Well, we're going to put them in the same pot together so they're friends.
Okay.
Because we want a nice full plant. This is when I started from several cuttings.
Okay, so like the spider plant, the only difference is now we have 3 going in the same pot.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
So these do need that root hormone powder. So simple. It's real simple. All you do is cut, dip, plant.
Oh, you're kidding.
That's
Can
it.
I try one?
You sure can.
All right. I just dip it into the powder.
Yep.
See, it has some powder on there. Where do I put it? Does it matter?
Wherever you want in the pot.
Right there. Did I go too far down?
Nope.
Okay.
So before we go put this one in there, where these leaves meet the vine, that's called a node. That is where it's going to send out a new runner, a new vine.
Oh.
Sometimes you get 1, sometimes you get 2. If you're real lucky, you get 3.
Oh, well, I want 3.
Well, I don't know. That depends on nature. So now we have it in there.
Okay.
It's going to take a little longer for these to take
Do we
off the
water
spider
it?
plant. We will water it. We'll see
Okay.
if there's room. The spider plant can be friends.
Okay. And this, you want holes on the bottom of this also?
Yes. So they like to dry out in between their waterings.
Okay, so they require more water. No?
Less water. So instead
less
of
water,
watering,
okay.
let's say the spider plant, you're going to water, let's say, once a week.
Okay.
This guy, you just want to wait till the soil dries out completely because
Okay.
it doesn't like to be overly wet. Think of it be kind of related to like cactuses and succulents.
Oh,
It likes a
okay.
regular watering schedule, but it doesn't like too much
too
water.
much. So just a little bit goes a long way. All right. Well, that's interesting.
Now this one might take anywhere from 3 weeks to a month for them to be rooted. The way to tell if they're rooted is you just gently pull on them. If they come straight out,
Oh,
they're
then
not
you know
rooted.
they don't have roots.
But if there's just
Okay.
a slight bit of resistance,
They probably have roots.
yeah. And if you want to, you can simply cut
And
the
are
vine
these
off.
also pet friendly and
They are.
child friendly, all that stuff? Okay.
You can also
Uh-oh.
root them in water,
Okay. So we can put it in water.
and you can just watch it grow.
And just wait. But you said the roots on this would not be as strong.
They won't be as strong. So you would wait to transplant them until the roots have completely filled up the bottom of the cup.
Okay.
And have
All right.
coiled around. I have a couple at home that are waiting to go in soil
Okay.
when I get to it.
And just like with the spider plant, you could go with a bigger pot. You would just want more to fill up the pot with. All right.
Now, the thing to think about with the Hoyas, though, is the bigger their pot, the longer it's going to take for that root system to establish.
Oh,
So the spider plants is a faster rooter because they already have the roots on the bottom.
okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Well, this has been very interesting. I'm so glad that you came today. Thank you so much. Now, these are indoor plants.
Yes.
We know that, but spring is coming, and I know a lot of people are anxious to start planting flowers. What types of flowers do you recommend for this region that people plant if they're going to do flowers outside?
If you're going to do annuals, we're getting close to the time of year you'd be putting pansies and violas out. If you want to do perennials, cone flowers are a wonderful one that do well here in Kansas, especially being the native flower.
Okay.
Did you know they come in other colors?
No, what colors?
So, of course, there's traditional pink. There's a white one, a yellow one, an orange one. There's even a pink one that has lime green on the edges.
Oh, how fun. All right. Well, Kirsten, thank you so much for being here. And thank you. I'm going to head back, and we are going to finish up today with Eric.
Welcome back. Kirsten sure had some good information for us,
Yes.
didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Tell you what,
Very knowledgeable.
I'm kind of biased, but I think she does a great job. But that's just me.
Yeah, I'm excited. I learned a lot.
Yes.
I learned a few things that I didn't know about. I do not have a green thumb.
Me
I
neither.
have a brown thumb. Everything that I try to grow dies. The one plant that's supposed to be really hard to keep alive, I hear, is a rubber tree plant. It's the only plant I've ever been able to keep alive, and it was by accident. I set it outside because all the leaves were falling off, and I set it outside on the porch, and it snowed on it, and it froze, and it was just nothing but a twig. And I was really waiting until spring where I could take the whole pot, because it was in a pretty big pot, take it out to the dump, but it started to re-sprout leaves.
Hey.
So in my life, I've been able to keep a rubber tree plant alive by accident.
Hey,
So,
you
but
know
no,
what? It
Kirsten
works.
did a great job.
Yes,
She did,
yes.
and I was so honored that she was agreeing to be on the show for us
Yes,
today.
I'm excited.
You know some things about Atchison history,
Mm-hmm.
and you were telling me before the show something about Elijah Kluk.
Yes.
about
So at the end of, with February being the end of Black History Month, and we have so much history in Atchison, so many great stories, and one of the ones that one of my favorite songs is Just a Closer Walk with Thee. And I always love that song.
Can you sing it?
Not now. I used to have to sing solo. Solo, they don't have to hear me. But anyway, Elijah Kluk actually worked down at Bradkin. And he got, different time period, but he kind of got mistreated by his coworkers, things like that. And so he wrote this song with one of his relatives, and put it to music.
Wow.
And he would sing that while he worked. And it helped him. Well, someone heard it and thought that's a really beautiful song, and so they actually ended up patenting it. But if you look at it now, it's unknown, but it was actually Elijah Kluk, and it was written right here in Atchison.
That's incredible.
Yes.
And because that song is sung, that hymn is sung all over the place, everywhere.
Yes.
And so I had no idea that the person who wrote it was from right here in Atchison. That's pretty
And
awesome.
the cool part is his relatives are still in town, and so it's a very neat song. I love it.
It
Like I
is.
said,
It's a
one of
good
my
song.
favorites.
If you haven't heard it, go look it up because neither Eric nor I are going to sing it for you.
Not well. But anyway, yes, that's one of my favorite songs, and so it holds a special place in my heart, knowing that it came from Atchison,
yeah,
and it's something that you just feel closer to.
Yeah.
So
I like that. I like that a lot.
yes.
Well, we've had a wonderful show.
Yes,
It is
we have.
March. Spring is coming.
Yes.
Eric, it's my birthday month.
I heard that. That's
Yes,
wonderful.
I was a spring baby, so of course I like spring.
Yes.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite season, to be honest with you. I do love the fall, cider in the air
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. But I am always relieved when spring is coming. So
Yes,
yeah.
especially when Kansas, when it's like winter starts to leave, then comes back, says one more thing,
Yeah.
and storms out again. So.
No, I do like the fact that spring is coming. And Kirsten did such a wonderful job with the plants
Yes.
today. I was so excited about spring coming that I wet my pants. No,
Your plants?
my plants. I said my joke wrong, didn't I?
That's okay. She's so excited she wet her plants.
I wet
folks.
my plants, yes. It was supposed to be a plant joke, but I guess I bombed on
You
that
just
one.
didn't seed, did it?
It didn't. It didn't take root.
No, it didn't.
We love you guys, Atchison. We really do. We've had a
Yes.
wonderful time being with you today. Remember, Jesus loves you, and so do we.